You ever notice how nobody teaches you what to do when your finances are already wrecked? People are happy to talk about investing, side hustles, how to become a millionaire, but not how to rebuild when you're behind on bills, buried in debt, and embarrassed to open your banking app. I'm Kyle, and if you feel like you've ruined your financial life, this video is for you. Not for the person with a mild overspending habit, for the person in full rebuild mode. Here's the paradox. Rock bottom feels like failure, but it's actually a clean foundation if you use it right. No more pretending, no more patching holes, just truth and a new blueprint. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear, aggressive 90-day plan to rebuild your finances from the ground up, even if you're scared, broke, and overwhelmed. You'll stop guessing and start operating like the CEO of your life, not a confused employee reacting to every crisis. Let's kill the biggest lie first. I'm just bad with money. That sentence sounds like self-awareness, but it's actually a shield that keeps you stuck. You're not bad with money. You were never given a system that works. What you have right now is a machine that produces stress, overdrafts, and debt on autopilot. Income comes in, bills hit randomly. Spending happens emotionally, and debt quietly compounds in the background. There is no order, only reaction. If you tried to run a company this way, it would collapse. But that's exactly how most people run their personal finances, hoping tomorrow is better while repeating yesterday's habits. When you say, "I'm bad with money," you turn something fixable into an identity. Identities are hard to change. Systems can be redesigned. Rebuilding from the ground up means you stop judging yourself and start auditing the process. What comes in, what goes out, what leaks, what grows, and what absolutely must change. Here's why most people never rebuild. They're more afraid of seeing the truth than they are of staying broke. They avoid bank statements, don't open emails, and pay minimums blindly, hoping the mess somehow resolves itself. You know that feeling when a notification pops up and your stomach drops? That's the price of avoidance. You're living in financial darkness and guessing where the walls are. Rebuilding starts with something brutal and simple. Full exposure. You sit down and you document everything. Every source of income, every fixed and variable expense, every debt balance, interest rate, due date, and minimum payment, every subscription that quietly drains you. You put it all in one place, no rounding, no hiding, no "I'll check later." That document is your financial ground zero. It might punch you in the gut, but now you're dealing with reality, not anxiety. You can't rebuild a house if you refuse to look at the damage. You need the full picture. Once you have ground zero, you switch roles. You are no longer the panicked consumer trying to survive month to month. You are the CEO of You Incorporated taking over a distressed company. A CEO doesn't cry over the balance sheet. A CEO uses it. They ask ruthless questions. Which expenses keep us alive? Which ones are pure vanity? What contracts can we renegotiate? Where are we bleeding cash? What assets can we repurpose? That's exactly how you treat your personal finances from this point forward. Every dollar becomes an employee. If it doesn't have a clear job, it's fired. Every recurring payment becomes a contract that must justify its existence. Every hour of your time becomes either an income engine or a wasted resource. This shift from victim to operator is non-negotiable. You stop asking, "Why am I so bad with money?" and start asking, "If I was the CEO of a turnaround, what would I cut, fix, and rebuild first?" Now you use the soil foundation structure framework. Soil is your mental and social environment. If the people around you normalize chaos, debt, and impulsive flexing, that's the ground your new financial house is sitting on. You can't rebuild on poisoned soil. You need new inputs, different conversations, different content, different standards. No more "everyone has debt, it's normal." That belief alone can steal decades from you. Foundation is your basic stability. You know your numbers, your essential expenses are covered, your debt isn't growing, and you're not constantly surprised by payments. Structure is everything that grows on top. Emergency fund, side income, career moves, investing. Most people jump straight to structure by asking, where should I invest? While their soil is toxic and their foundation is cracked. Rebuilding from the ground up means you commit to this order, fix the ground, pour the base, then build upwards. Anything else collapses under pressure. The second core principle: every dollar must have a job before it arrives. When money hits your account without a plan, it evaporates. Random eating out, impulse buys, emotional spending after a bad day, and small leaks that add up faster than you think. You don't get to say, "I don't know where my money went" anymore. That sentence disappears from your vocabulary. At the start of each month, you give every dollar an assignment. This portion covers rent, this kills debt, this funds a tiny emergency buffer, this pays essential bills, this is guilt-free fun. You can use zero-based budgeting or any method you like, but the rule is the same. Unassigned money is lost money. Rebuilding requires intention. You're turning chaos into a controlled flow. Think of yourself as a general deploying troops into battle. You don't just drop them randomly on the field and hope to win. You decide exactly where they go and why. Let's break the rebuild into 3 phases, starting with Phase 1. Stop the bleeding. This is your first 30 days. Your goal is not to get rich. Your goal is to stabilize. First, finish your ground zero document. No guessing. Second, attack your expenses. Anything non-essential that doesn't protect your health, your ability to work, or your dependence gets cut, paused, or downgraded. Third, open communication with every creditor and service provider. You ask about hardship programs, lower interest, extended terms, and temporary relief. You'd be shocked how many companies will work with you if you show up early and proactive. Fourth, freeze all lifestyle upgrades. No new gadgets, no fancy trips, no "I deserve this" purchases. You do deserve something. A future where money isn't choking you. This month is about survival with strategy. You're creating oxygen so you can actually think and plan instead of just reacting in panic. Phase 2 is stabilize and secure, covering roughly days 31 to 60. Now that the bleeding slows, you build a mini safety net and a simple system. First, choose one budgeting method and commit for at least 90 days, not 3 apps in 3 weeks. One method, consistently. Second, build a starter emergency buffer. The target is 1 month of essential expenses as fast as humanly possible, even if that means temporary discomfort. This buffer is your shock absorber. It keeps every flat tire or surprise bill from turning into a full crisis. Third, choose your debt strategy. Snowball for faster emotional wins or avalanche for maximum math efficiency. What matters is that you pick a lane and stay in it. Fourth, automate. Automatic transfers to savings right after you get paid. Automatic minimum payments to avoid late fees. You're reducing the number of decisions you make under stress, because stressed brains make expensive choices. Phase 3 is build and expand, from days 61 to 90 and beyond. Now you shift from pure defense to controlled offense. First, deliberately increase income. That might be overtime, freelancing, tutoring, rideshare, selling unused items, or monetizing a skill you've been sitting on. The point isn't to find the perfect side hustle, it's to prove your income is not fixed. Second, you direct every extra dollar into your priority targets, finishing your emergency fund and aggressively reducing debt. No lifestyle creep. Third, zoom out and analyze your main career or business. Ask yourself, what would need to happen for me to earn 30 to 50% more in the next 1 to 2 years? Maybe that's a certification, changing companies, building a portfolio, or learning a high-value skill. Fourth, once your baseline is stable and your behavior is consistent, you start learning about simple long-term investing. Not get-rich-quick garbage, but boring, repeatable wealth building. Let's tie the roadmap together so you're not just hyped, you're clear. Days 130. Ground zero and stop the bleeding. You face your numbers, negotiate, cut hard, and stop digging deeper. Days 3160. Stabilize and secure. You lock in a budget, build that first month of emergency buffer, and choose your debt attack method. Days 6190. Build and expand. You push income up, redirect all surplus into your priorities, and start designing your next career or business move. Your 3 key milestones are simple. Milestone 1. The day your entire financial life fits on one page. Milestone 2. The day you hit that first month of essential expenses saved. Milestone 3. The day your total debt stops growing and starts shrinking every single month. When those 3 are true, your rebuild is no longer an idea, it's real. From there, you don't stop, you just scale. Before you sprint ahead, you need to see the landmines. Mistake 1. Trying to keep your old lifestyle while pretending you're rebuilding. You can flex or you can fix, not both. Mistake 2. Skipping the painful ground zero numbers because they make you anxious. The anxiety comes from ignorance, not from information. Mistake 3. Treating every bonus, refund, or side hustle payout like play money. In a rebuild, windfalls are weapons, not rewards. Mistake 4. Constantly switching tools, budgets, and debt strategies because you're chasing a feeling instead of results. Mistake 5. Waiting until you feel ready or have more time. You will never feel ready. You start while it's messy. Mistake 6. Isolating yourself because you're ashamed of your situation. Shame keeps you silent. Silence keeps you stuck. You don't need to broadcast your problems, but you do need at least one person or community that holds you to your new standard. Here's the entire formula in one sentence. You rebuild your finances by facing everything, stabilizing ruthlessly, and then attacking growth with relentless focus. That's it. No magic, no secret hack, just ownership and execution. Your action today is non-negotiable. Create your financial ground zero sheet. List every source of income, every recurring bill, every debt balance, every interest rate, every due date, every subscription. One page, full truth. When that's done, you're no longer lost, you're just early in the process. In the comments, tell me honestly where you are right now, drowning, barely stable, or ready to build. Then tell me the first hard decision you're willing to make this week to prove you're serious about rebuilding from the ground up. Remember, you don't fix a broken financial life with hope, you fix it with a plan, courage, and consistent action. You're not starting from nothing, you're starting from experience. Let's rebuild.